Hello, everyone, and let's jump right into our task, which is make carousel function. So we will work on carousel style and JavaScript. Right now, head to carousel CSS file. And if I'm honest, guys, we gotta delete all this and replace with a new style. Why? Because before doing this video, I, of course, experimented with code and figured out that any of JS code I did would work with our style. So say bye-bye to this long style and follow me in creation of another one. For carousel container, we keep position relative, max width and margin 2 rem auto. Hold on here. What does 2 rem mean though? What is rem at all? In short, 1 rem equals 16 pixels by default unless you tell it otherwise. The term rem means root m. It's a relative unit used for sizing things like text, padding, and margins. Rem is relative to the root element's font size. So if you change the root font size in CSS, the meaning of 1 rem changes too, and all sizes defined in rem will scale automatically. Next, main carousel. Let's keep only overflow hidden. For cards, we keep display flex, gap 1 rem, overflow x auto, transition 0.5 seconds, scroll behavior smooth, and scroll barred with none. Style for each card is fine. A car image is fine as well, just change height 100% to auto. And finally left and right buttons. For them, we keep position absolute, top 50%, transform translate y negative 50%. As you know, top 50% moves the element halfway down the parent box, and translate y negative 50% moves it up by half of its own height. So, why use both? If you only do top 50%, the top of the element is in the middle, so it looks a bit too low. By adding translate y negative 50%, you pull it up so the center of the element is in the middle, perfectly centered. Next, add font size. I'll do 2 rem, but it's up to you what size you want buttons content to be. Correct height and width if you want, and keep cursor pointer with z-index 10. Also, one mistake, we give this style to left and right button IDs, but we don't have ID for neither of them anymore, so switch hashtag onto that. Okay, now last thing we do for style is for left button we say left 0, and for right button, right 0. It just means place the element at the very left and right edge of its parent container. Finally, we get to our script, the star of this video. Create new JavaScript file and name it carousel. In there, type document. Add event listener. Add event listener means we are about to add a function to our web page. Inside the quotes goes the event name, but not the one you can make. It must be the name of a real event the browser knows about. And we're going to use the when the HTML is ready. Next, we create 3 constant variables. Constant variable means the variable that cannot be reassigned after it's created. For each of the constants, we will do document.querySelector. QuerySelector is a method that finds an element in the HTML page using a CSS selector. It's like saying find me the first element that matches this CSS selector. Selector means any CSS selector like hashtag ID, .class, or tag. 3 constants are container, left, and right buttons. The 4th constant stores a function that returns a value. First line in this function selects the first element with class card inside the container element. Second line is very interesting. Let's break it down and start firstly with getComputedStyle function. So what this function does is it gets all the CSS styles applied to whatever is inside the parenthesis. .gap means get access to the gap CSS property of our container. Parse int simply converts the gap value from a string like 10 pixels to a number 10. And this weird thing basically says if there is no gap defined, then uses 0 as a fallback. And lastly, we return the sum of card width and gap. Next, we add a clickable function for our right button so that when it's clicked, the container scrolls to the right by 1 card's width plus the gap. We do the same for the left button, but subtract the value so the container scrolls back to the left. In our HTML, I also added these arrows. Time to check. Interesting. Oh, right. Don't forget to link layout file with our CSS and JS files. It still doesn't work. What the heck? Alright, plan B. Sometimes Visual Studio, or whoever is responsible for code to work, can be slow or lag and just not link the files. So what we'll do is move style and script inside of carousel HTML file. Well, this isn't super bad, but not the best practice either. And I think exactly for cases like this, they came up with the style and script tags. And if we check it now, it works now. I don't really like the button style, so I'll change it, but the video is over. Just don't forget to delete carousel CSS and JS files with their links from layout. Thanks for watching and check out my other videos.